gathered around her little white casket, wrote little notes on her casket. Sorry, this is because it did ping and it went off and you got caught.
No, obviously the person who behind the cover up.
Yes. Dismembered, decapitated. Probably because you're trying to hide something and make sure certain details don't come out.
Show cans of soup were found with holes in the lids.
Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Annie Elise, and this is my channel, 10 to Life, where we talk all things true crime, the old cases, the current cases, the super crazy controversial cases. We talk about it all. So welcome. And before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below so that you can be notified of upcoming live streams, any new videos that get posted. And please like, comment, and share this video where you can. I love hearing your feedback and getting the dialogue going in the comments. So especially with this case, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So make sure you comment below. And lastly, if you want to be a part of the official 10 to Life community, hit that link in the description box below to become an official 10 to Lifer. It gives you all different access to different VIP perks, special 10 to Life emojis, the works. So a lot of you guys have been using those emojis lately, which I love seeing. But if you're interested, go ahead and click that link in the description box below. That being said, let's get into today's case. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a warning. It is not an easy case. Not that any of these have ever been easy, but this one is especially hard. So I want to give you guys that warning just to give you a heads up. And the reason that I'm talking about this case, and you'll understand why as we get into it, is because there is such a problem out there in this world, and it really is a global epidemic at this point, with child solicitation, child exploitation, abuse. I mean, you name it, it's out there, and it is now more rampant than ever before. So it is so critical that we continue talking about these things, because we have to bring awareness so that we can educate ourselves and educate others on what signs to look for. What can we see possibly, whether it's through our neighbors or a family member or a friend, to where the red flag goes off and we say, hey, something's not quite right here. Maybe I need to intervene. Because if enough people are aware and they know what to look for, hopefully we would be able to intervene more so that a lot of these cases never would even have to happen and these kids wouldn't have to go through what they're going through. So with that, we're going to jump into today's case, but I wanted to give you that warning ahead of time. And this case just happened, and we're still waiting to hear as new details emerge, but I'm going to share with you what information we know so far. Just this last Saturday at 10:40 p.m., police were called to the home at the block of 3400 Germantown Road in Pennsylvania, and they had received a 911 call in regards to an unresponsive infant. When they arrived, they found 29-year-old Austin Stevens alongside his 10-month-old daughter, Zara Scruggs. Zara was unresponsive, and she was immediately taken to Einstein Medical Center. In an interview with county detectives, Austin said that he had left Zara in the bathtub to run briefly to the kitchen, and then he heard a huge bang. He says when he went to go investigate the noise that she would not wake up and she wasn't moving. He also said he couldn't lift her head and that he knew something was wrong, and that's when he decided to call 911. However, he didn't call 911 right away, and when investigators started searching everything and searching his phone, they discovered that he had waited an entire hour to call 911. And when they searched his phone, they found Google searches for that hour window in which he didn't call 911, and those searches included: if baby stops breathing, what if you don't hear a baby's heartbeat, my baby isn't breathing, how do you know if a baby is dead? These are all very alarming text messages, not only in itself. However, if you're now waiting for a period of an hour not to call 911 when your infant is unresponsive, but you're sitting there on Google and Googling these things, that is a huge red flag. Police also say that Austin was talking to two different women through text and social media during this hour, unrelated to the injuries of his child. Just texting and on social media, just chatting with these people before even calling 911. Shortly after arriving to Einstein Medical Center, 10-month-old Zara was pronounced dead at just 12:12 a.m., just a couple of hours later. So what happened to this little girl? How did she die? Why did she die at just 10 months old? What was going on? What was that mysterious bang when he left the room momentarily? What was the delay in him calling 911 related to, if anything? What happened to her, and why is she now dead? head. Well, an autopsy conducted on Sunday determined that Zara was the victim of SA. And if you don't know what SA is, please look it up. She also suffered blunt force trauma to the head, but the cause and manner of death is still pending. Her father, Austin Stevens, 29 years old, was arrested immediately. And Austin was charged with involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, RAPE of a child, aggravated assault, aggravated indecent assault, endangering the welfare of a child, and other related offenses. A slew of charges. According to social media and some of Austin's friends, he's the co-owner of a construction company called Black Diamond Construction. His colleagues say that this is very out of character for Austin, and they say that something else must be in play in this situation because it is just so unlike him and so out of character. Investigators say that in addition to co-owning that construction company, he also was the assistant coach of a local football team. Now, while the investigation gets going, the district attorney, Kevin Steele, says that there was a custody arrangement that happened between Austin and Zara's mother. The arrangement, he said, was not mandated by the court, and it was a mutual agreement between the two parties. He goes on to say that the custody agreement with the mother was amicable, and at the time of Zara's death, he was the one with sole custody per their agreement that they had made. Which begs the question, why wasn't the mother involved in Zara's life? Was there something happening behind that we don't know about yet that's going to come to light? Or was it simply just he wanted to be the sole custodian and he had sole custody? We're waiting to hear more details as they start to emerge. Austin's bail was set at $1 million, and after failing to make that $1 million bail, he was remanded to the Montgomery Correctional Facility. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 13th, so just a few days from now. Now, although the cause of death and manner of death is still pending, the Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele did say that the personnel who transported Zara from home to the hospital gave the authorities a blood-saturated diaper that she had been wearing, which is so indicative of not only what they found in those autopsy results, but indicative that something mysterious was at play in that house. Was she really in the bathtub? Because if so, how would her diaper be blood-soaked? There's so many different pieces that don't add up, and we're waiting to hear more details. District Attorney Kevin Steele goes on to make a statement, and he says, "This case is deeply disturbing. It's hard to imagine this child's death being any more traumatic. SA on an infant, followed by inaction by the father to save her life, ultimately led to her death." Now, I think this statement is so telling because not only do we know that something sinister, yes, did take place, that is evident, but one of the biggest problems in this case is also the inaction by the father. Why did he wait for an hour before calling 911 and make those Google searches and talk on social media? Was it because he was hoping to cover his tracks? Was it because he was panicked? That ultimately led to her death. Could she have possibly been saved if he called 911 right away? Perhaps, and we'll never know, unfortunately. Now, here is why I think it is so important to continue speaking about these cases and bringing the awareness, because most of the time, this abuse that takes place, an SA that takes place on children, goes quiet and hidden and unnoticed. So in the rare event that we hear a child outcry or we hear a child make concerning statements, we need to listen. We need to err on the side of caution and listen to what they're saying, because we know that more times than not, it goes unseen, unheard, and nothing is done until it's unfortunately too late. But if we do hear somebody disclose something, or if we see something that's concerning, we have to say something, we have to do something. Because if these parents, if these family members, if these friends, if these teachers, whoever they are, if they won't protect the child, who will? Who will? We can't just sit silently when we hear something and hope that it was a mistake and it'll all work itself out. No. Yes, we have to be responsible with what we hear and what we say, but we must listen to these outcries. We must listen to anything that feels off in any statements that are ever given, because there is too much of this happening out there right now. It is all too common to where that, yes, it makes headline news for a day or a week, and then it goes away and people forget about it until it happens again to another child. Why does this continue to happen? We have to be better, and we have to start speaking up when we see something that does not feel right. I know this was a tough one to listen to today, guys, and it was very reminiscent of baby Brianna, which is just awful in itself. And if you aren't familiar with baby Brianna's story, her story is in my playlist a few videos back. Please go watch and educate yourself. And hopefully we can start to make a small dent in this culture that is just disgusting and out there in such a big way. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this case with me today, guys. I will continue to keep you updated, especially as the hearing is just a few days away, and hopefully we'll have some new details and understand what really took place and why this happened. Thanks again. Don't forget to show your support for the channel by hitting that subscribe button below, and please like, comment, share this video where you can, and of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm interested to hear from you. Thanks again for listening, and until the next case, stay safe. Bye.